There's a moment in adulthood when you realize something quietly unsettling. Your life is running on a system you never consciously designed. You wake up one day and notice patterns, the way you react to stress, the way you make decisions, the habits you fall back on, the people you gravitate toward, the risks you tolerate, the ones you avoid. And you realize none of it was intentional, it just happened. You didn't choose your defaults, you inherited them from your upbringing, your environment, your early jobs, from the people you spent time with, from the stories you told yourself when you were younger. And yet, these defaults, these unconscious systems, shape everything. They determine how you handle money, how you navigate relationships, how you respond to opportunity, how you deal with uncertainty, how you build or sabotage your future. Institutions don't operate this way. They don't leave their systems to chance, they design them. And that's what today's episode is about, the idea that your life already has a system, a personal operating system, and the moment you start designing it intentionally, everything changes. Welcome back to the Risk Manager's Guide to Money. I'm Jay Malcolm, and today we're starting a new conversation, one that expands upon some past ideas and the money conversation into something bigger: how high functioning people design their lives. This concept is built on a simple idea. The same principles that govern institutions, risk, incentive, structure, identity, correlation, compounding, also govern human behavior. Institutions don't rely on vibes, they rely on systems, and your life needs the same thing. So think of this as the blueprint, the point where you zoom out and realize your life isn't just a timeline of events. It's a system, and systems can be rebuilt. Let's start with something simple. Every behavior you repeat is a part of a system. It's not a moral failing, not a personality flaw, just a system. If you procrastinate, that's a system. If you overspend, if you avoid conflict, if you chase chaos, if you stay calm under pressure, that's all a system. Systems aren't good or bad. They're just the natural outcome of incentives, identity, environment, and habit loops. Institutions map their systems, individuals rarely do. But once you start seeing your life as a system, you stop blaming yourself for outcomes and start redesigning the structures that produce them. Your personal operating system didn't appear out of nowhere. It was shaped by your childhood environment: what was rewarded, what was punished, what was modeled. It was shaped by your early jobs, the cultures you absorbed, the expectations you internalized. It was shaped by your relationships, the roles you played, the patterns you repeated. It was shaped by your fears, the ones you learned to avoid, the ones you learned to tolerate. It was shaped by your successes, the strategies that worked once and became permanent. And it was shaped by your failures, the moments that taught you to shrink or stretch. Most people never revisit these origins. They assume their operating system is just who they are. Institutions don't do that. They constantly update their systems. They revise mandates. They rewrite policies. They adjust incentives. They evolve. Your operating system can evolve too, but only if you become aware of it. If you want to understand why you behave the way you do, don't look at your goals, look at your incentives. Institutions know this. They don't ask, what do we want people to do? They ask, what are we rewarding? People are the same. Your incentives, emotional, social, financial, psychological, shape your behavior far more than your intentions. If you reward yourself with comfort every time you're stressed, you'll build a system of avoidance. If you reward yourself with progress every time you take a risk, you'll build a system of courage. If your environment rewards distraction, you'll become distracted. If your relationships reward growth, you'll grow. Incentives are the architecture beneath your habits. Change the incentives, and the behavior follows. Identity is the quiet engine behind everything you do. It's the story you believe about yourself and the story you're trying to protect. Institutions have mandates, people have identities. If you see yourself as someone who always figures it out, you'll take a risk. If you see yourself as someone who can't handle pressure, you'll avoid it. If you see yourself as someone who isn't good with money, you'll behave accordingly. If you see yourself as someone who keeps promises to themselves, your habits will reflect that. Identity is not fixed, it's updated through action, but you can't update an identity you haven't examined. Institutions map correlation because they know risks don't move independently. People should do the same. Your environment isn't neutral, it's a set of correlated forces that shape your behavior. If your friends are anxious, you'll feel anxious. If your workplace is chaotic, you'll become reactive. If your home is cluttered, your mind will be too. If your digital inputs are frantic, your attention will be fractured. Your environment is a silent algorithm. It nudges you toward certain behaviors and away from others. Change the environment, and the system changes with it. Institutions treat liquidity as sacred because it keeps them stable during stress. Habits serve the same purpose in your life. Good habits are your liquidity. They keep you grounded when everything else is unstable. They give you something to fall back on. They prevent emotional insolvency. Bad habits are negative liquidity. They drain you when you need stability the most. Habits aren't moral, they're structural. They're automatic behaviors that keep your system running when your willpower is gone. Institutions have capital structures, debt, equity, reserves. People have relational structures, support, stress, leverage, anchors. Some relationships are equity. They invest in you, they grow with you, they compound. Some are debt. They drain you, they demand from you, they limit your flexibility. Some are reserves. They stabilize you, they give you emotional liquidity. Some are leverage. They amplify your potential. Your relational structure determines your resilience. Every operating system runs applications, programs that use the system's resources. In life, the primary application is career. Career shapes your identity, it shapes your incentives, it shapes your environment. Career shapes your habits, career shapes your relationships. Most people treat career as something that's separate from the rest of their life, but it's not separate, it's integrated. It's one of the main programs your operating system supports. And when the system is stable, the application runs better. When the system is unstable, the application crashes. A well designed operating system improves over time. It becomes more stable, more efficient, more capable. Human lives can do the same. Skills compound, identities compound, relationships compound, reputation, habits, confidence all compound. But compounding only works inside a stable system, one where the code is aligned, the incentives are healthy, the identity is grounded, the environment is supportive, the habits are reliable, and the relationships are strengthening. When the system is aligned, everything reinforces everything else. You stop fighting yourself and you start compounding. So, as we close out this episode, I want to leave you with one idea. Your life is already running an operating system. The question is whether it's the one you inherited or the one you designed. Because once you see your life as a system, you stop trying to change isolated outcomes. You start rewriting the architecture that produces them, and that's where transformation begins. Thanks for listening to the Risk Manager's Guide to Money. If this episode helped you see your life through a more structural lens, share it with someone who you think's been running old code. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now's a good time. See you in the next episode. Signing off.